So like,
no, two-time unified heavyweight champion. So far, so good.
oh, with boxing, yeah, 100%. But what I'm saying now is, there's another level of fitness.
Yeah.
You guys wanted me to go bigger? How about twice as big?
If Anthony Joshua is to do what he done to Ngannou, to Jake Paul, that's like life-changing.
Anthony Joshua has fans stunned by a monstrous new physique that feels carved for destruction. Leaner, sharper, and more explosive than ever, AJ's transformation has become the talk of the boxing world, sending shock waves across social media and delivering a chilling message straight to Jake Paul. From his granite-cut shoulders to the revived power stance echoing his early championship days, Joshua's new look isn't just cosmetic, it's a warning.
The only way we're gonna win a 12-round fight is if you push yourself in the gym. So, yeah, that's what I like about the world-class boxing gym.
Everyone says they want to be a world champ, but people are not willing to do what it takes to become a world champ. And even in this gym, it's like you're put through the test because, I mean, it's one thing to say you want to hang out with champs and hang out with other fighters, another thing to be able to endure the workout and endure the work, so it's a big thing. He's been pushing himself. He's asking me, what can I do more? How can I be better? How can I build my fitness more? And that's really a sign of a great individual and a great champion.
Joshua explained that his size isn't some overnight transformation. It's simply his genetics, shaped by the work he puts in every single day. He revealed that this natural power, once fully awakened through training, becomes dangerous for anyone standing across the ring from him. And with Jake Paul next in line, Joshua made it clear he isn't packing on muscle for show. He's unleashing what was already inside him. And that could mean real trouble for Jake once the punches start flying.
Of road work. So even though I'm big, this is just genetics.
Right, definitely, yeah.
It's not like I spend hours in the gym like lifting. You can't run 10 miles and only spar 4 rounds. You have to run 4 miles and spar 10 rounds. Yeah, like what I'm trying to say is gym work's important with your coach. All this stuff is just the core stuff. This stuff is just the extra add-ons that you're gonna get. But you have to have good technique. You have to have a good understanding of boxing. Like, that's your muscle, your brain. That's what a coach is gonna train you mostly. Like, he wants to train this. And if you've got that at its strongest, yeah, I feel like you'll be good.
Yeah, and so far.
Jake Paul has openly admitted the massive size gap between him and Anthony Joshua, but instead of backing down, he's turning it into fuel. He said that for years people told him to fight someone his own size, so he pushed the idea even further by choosing an opponent nearly twice as big. He framed the matchup as the ultimate test, proof that he's not afraid of danger, criticism, or the spotlight that comes with stepping up against a heavyweight monster like Joshua. According to Jake, if people want to question his legitimacy, then taking on a giant is the perfect answer. Still, even with all his confidence, the sheer physical difference brings a level of risk that even Paul can't fully ignore.
How about twice as big? Literally, he's twice as big as Gervonta. He's 6'6", 260 pounds with an 82-inch reach. I mean, just look at us next to each other. Two-time heavyweight champion of the world, an Olympic gold medalist. While he was winning Olympic gold, I was filming Vines in high school.
What'd you say?
AJ is a knockout artist with fights that have literally ended in seconds. He's fought legends, Klitschko, Usyk, Ruiz, Ngannou.
Biggest shot. The tale of the tape for Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul reveals a mismatch that could heavily influence the fight's outcome. Joshua stands 6 feet 6 inches with an 82-inch reach and a true heavyweight frame, weighing well over 240 pounds. Jake Paul, at 6 feet 1 inch with a 76-inch reach and around 200 pounds, is giving up major height, weight, and power. Joshua's longer reach lets him command the distance, making it tougher for Paul to close in without taking punishment. The weight gap means AJ's punches land with far more stopping force, while Paul must depend on speed, movement, and timing. And if Joshua uses that size wisely, this fight could quickly become a physically overwhelming night for Jake.
28 years old compared to 36 years old. So I guess the advantage there goes a little bit towards Jake Paul. 28-year-old is better than a 36-year-old. But that being said, we've got talking about experience and everything else, what comes with being 36 years old at Anthony Joshua's level. And then, like I mentioned, the heavyweights kind of seem to prime a little bit older. Now, come down to the height and the weight. This is the big one. 6'1" versus 6'6". 200 pound versus 252 pound. We got a 252 pounder in Anthony Joshua. The reach advantage is a lot, which we would expect. Amateur fights, we can see that Jake's only had one, where AJ's had 43, but 43 of them are included at the highest level, Olympic level. And yes, he won the Olympic bloody gold medal, if I don't need to remind you. Then the pro record, Jake Paul has had 13 fights, lost one. AJ has had 28 fights, and he's lost 4 with 25 KOs. And the one person that Jake Paul lost.
The tale of the tape for Anthony Joshua versus Jake Paul highlights a mismatch that could heavily shape the fight's outcome. Joshua stands 6 feet 6 inches with an 82-inch reach and a natural heavyweight frame, weighing well over 240 pounds. Jake Paul, at 6 feet 1 inch with a 76-inch reach and around 200 pounds, is giving up major height, weight, and power advantages. Joshua's longer reach lets him control the distance, making it tougher for Paul to close the gap without taking damage. The weight difference means AJ's punches carry far more stopping power, while Paul must depend on speed, movement, and timing. And if Joshua uses his size intelligently, it could turn the fight into a physically overwhelming scenario for Jake.
His legacy just by taking this fight. Fans don't respect what he's done in the sport already. He's an Olympic gold medalist, 2-time unified heavyweight champion of the world. I sort of sympathize with him because I feel like if he doesn't beat him quicker than he beat Francis, people are just going to write it off. I'll ask you bluntly, have there been any discussions about there's an agreement, there's a secret contract? Have any of those discussions happened regarding this fight? It's an 8-round professional fight. AJ wouldn't have taken it if that was the stance it had to be, if it was an exhibition, if it was you've got to hold him up for 8 rounds. It wouldn't suit Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua.
Matchroom Boxing CEO Frank Smith has taken a cautious, realistic approach to the idea of Anthony Joshua facing Jake Paul. While he hasn't shut the door on the matchup completely, he told the Ariel Helwani show that Joshua's return is definitely possible, just not against Jake Paul right now. Smith pointed out the massive gap in pedigree, noting that Paul's rise looks nothing like the path Joshua carved through elite competition. Still, he confirmed that talks about a potential Paul fight are ongoing for early 2026, showing that Matchroom is open to the hype, even as he stays grounded in the unpredictable nature of boxing's business.
It was like, this isn't my cup of tea, and then obviously he ended up fighting Ngannou, and so I didn't know if this was a bridge too far for him.
No, I think for AJ, it was just, look, he's done everything in the sport. Like I say, he's a 2-time unified champion. He's fought the best, the elite fighters in, Alexander Usyk twice. And for him, it's just, right, I want to do things that interested me, motivate me. And obviously, if you can go and do that for a load of money against someone, fair play. I think me and Jake Paul might be more competitive than Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua.
Oh, my dear.
I actually want to make, as the comeback fight for Jake Paul, Eddie Hearn, Jake Paul.
Wow.
Yeah. Don't you think that would be big? As the comeback fight?
Yeah, like meaning after he loses this one.
For Jake's comeback fight.
You think Eddie would be down?
For money.
Could you imagine?
I know. I'd happily negotiate with Nikisa.
Tony Bellew has expressed deep doubts about the Joshua-Paul fight ever becoming a reality. He believes the matchup is a massive mismatch, with Joshua's size and experience so overwhelming that Paul would be stepping into real danger. Bellew also sees the bout as mostly a money grab, warning that Paul is putting his health on the line for financial gain. While he doesn't think it would damage Joshua's legacy, Bellew insists that if the fight does happen, Joshua would dictate every second of it. To him, the whole idea feels more like a spectacle than a true sporting contest.
I don't believe a single thing until literally I see them in a ring together. He was supposed to fight Gervonta Davis, wasn't he? Who's 5 stone lighter and is 5 stone lighter and 8 inches shorter. So I don't believe anything. Until they're in a ring together, I don't believe nothing.
Obviously, AJ was meant to fight in an 8-rounder. I think Eddie said to me earlier against...
In an 8-rounder?
Yeah, okay. Against a top 120 opponent on BoxRec that none of us would have heard of. Okay. Just a kind of confidence, go and get a knockout-type victory. I suppose you can go and do that against Jake Paul and earn an absolute fortune from
Listen, I've said before and I'll say it again.
Boxing is a brutal, brutal business. Go and make as much as you can, as quick as you can. Once you've achieved your dream and goals of becoming a world champion, there's nothing left to do besides make money. What are you chasing? You've won all the belts. You know, I think he's missing a WBC. I think that's about it. Go and get the belts and that's it. Move on.
Do you believe it should be sanctioned?
What I believe doesn't matter.
No, but I'm just curious.
What I believe doesn't matter because some governing body will.
Of course.
Or some sanctioning body will.
Of course.
Some
the Florida State
organisation. Yeah, absolute maniacs. But you know, that's another argument. That's another cause. It's like the one I heard Chris Eubank Senior talking about on the radio the other day. You're talking about safety of fighters. Champ, you were the worst for it. You went up to cruiserweight when you were super middleweight and didn't do it once but twice. And then you're saying people should have saved you from yourself. No, that's why we're fighters. So it's boxing. We know what we sign up for. We know what goes on.
Many experts believe it would be humiliating for Anthony Joshua if he doesn't knock out Jake Paul within the first few minutes. They view the matchup as such a massive mismatch that anything short of a dominant early KO could cast a shadow on Joshua's legacy.
Within 6 minutes, it's embarrassing. Only for him, but also for the sport of boxing. And if he does knock him out within 6 minutes, because it's a proper fight, boxing better pray that there's no lasting damage to Jake Paul. The phrase, fuck around and find out, springs to mind. This is not a game. You don't play boxing. Especially not with a 2-time unified heavyweight world champion in his athletic prime.
As Johnny Nelson puts it, AJ is in a no-win situation. If Paul manages to survive the full fight, it immediately sparks doubts about Joshua's form and his true intentions. Critics argue that a seasoned heavyweight like Joshua should dismantle Paul quickly. Anything drawn out or remotely competitive would only fuel the idea that this matchup is more of a payday than a legitimate test.
Fight.
I do believe it because AJ's involved, and I think AJ'd struggle to. He's going to take enough flack over this, but again, it's money talk. So I think AJ will struggle because it's an all-win situation. If he goes in there, Jake Paul lasts the distance. What does he tell you about AJ? Apart from he's just earned an extra 15 million quid. If he goes there and struggles with Jake Paul, then what's he say about AJ? Your heydays are well and truly over. If he goes in there and knocks him out, then I'll say that's to be expected. So the glory, there's probably not much glory in it, apart from the haters of Jake Paul to say, right, I've got rid of this kid. I think it's very brave of Jake Paul. So now the problem child has got to believe this fight's actually happening. So now you've got our attention. So now you've got to back up the boast. It's not about, you're not playing tiddlywink. This is the only game you can't play. You can play football.
He praised Paul's business savvy, calling him a genius for how he's packaged and monetized himself, but remained skeptical about his standing as an elite-level fighter. Nelson argues that Paul may be a solid domestic competitor, yet he's earning world champion money without taking the traditional path of grinding in the gym or climbing the pro ranks. To Nelson, Paul's true power lies in his promotion and online influence, not necessarily in mastering top-tier boxing skills.
5 years of age. It's crazy what I'm about to ask you, but can Jake Paul really beat Anthony Joshua?
All right, listen, I give all credit. Everyone knows that. They get mad at me that I gave too much credit to Paul. Why? He's done a hell of a job to put himself in this position. He sold himself. He sold his dream. He took his dream. He took his idea. And he put it out there, and he made it happen. Give him credit for that. And he made it happen. And he took risk along the way. Yeah, he picked his spots. He's in the driver's seat. He gets to pick his spots. He's the one bringing the money. He's the one promoting. Yeah, he's the name. He made himself that, coming from where he came from, with all his followers and the whole thing, and just the uniqueness of what he was doing. But he has learned along the way. He's not a top guy yet. No, I don't know that he ever will be. He didn't have that amateur back.
Jake Paul's ambitions stretch beyond boxing, as he's also expressed interest in taking on MMA star Conor McGregor. Paul claims his boxing skills are improving while suggesting that McGregor's abilities are fading with age, a bold assertion met with plenty of skepticism given McGregor's combat sports pedigree. These comments showcase Paul's confidence and a strategy of targeting high-profile athletes to boost his own standing in the combat world. Fans are particularly intrigued by the idea of a fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul, largely because they expect Joshua to dominate and humble Paul in the ring. Paul's history of calling out elite fighters and claiming superiority has made him one of combat sports' most polarizing figures. Many view his confidence in challenging Joshua as unrealistic, given the vast differences in experience, skill, and weight. Still, the prospect of the matchup has sparked massive interest, with some hoping Joshua would finally silence Paul's audacious claims inside the ring.
Be taking the mick. Jake Paul has called out Anthony Joshua and claims, I will fucking beat Anthony Joshua's ass. You know what? I want this to happen just so Anthony Joshua could just absolutely decimate this man right here. So first he fights Tommy Fury, a legitimate professional boxer, and he loses. Then he fights an OAP and Mike Tyson and beats him. Obviously, he's nearly 60 years old. Then he goes to try and fight Canelo, which fell through, thankfully. Then he tried to fight Tank Davis, which again fell through. And now he wants to fight Anthony Joshua, a legit world-level heavyweight boxer. Anthony Joshua is someone that I've always looked up to and probably one of my favourite boxers to this day and age. Don't get me wrong, I don't mind Jake Paul here and there, but there's just things he does in the sport that I don't agree with at all. And fighting Anthony Joshua, listen, I'm all here for it, just to see him get knocked clean out. The fact that he thinks he can compete with these high-level boxers, even though he lost to Tommy Fury, is just laughable. But how long does it take for Anthony...
According to many boxing pundits, Jake Paul has become the sport's ultimate cash cow, raking in massive money from every angle. In 2021 alone, he reportedly earned over $40 million just from fighting. His pay-per-view events generate huge revenue, and on top of that, he promotes himself through Most Valuable Promotions, MVP. He also monetizes his enormous social media, following with endorsements and YouTube content. Paul has made a habit of calling out boxing legends, offering them huge paydays, and then trash-talking them after the fights. His bout against Tommy Fury ended in his first professional loss, yet he continues to position himself as one of the biggest draws in boxing.
Tyson-Jake fight, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah. It's amazing they got paid so much money for that.
25 million and 40 million?
I think 20 and 40. Yeah, I think that's what I'd heard. You know, which I'm happy Mike got the money, and I'm happy that he didn't get hurt. That was my fear, that it was going to be a real fight, and he was going to get hurt.
You've known him for a long time. I've known him for a long time.
I love that dude.
Me too.
And he was a, larger-than-life figure in my childhood.
Truly, me
When
too.
I was a kid, when he was the champ, it was like, people don't understand what a champ he was. Like,
Yeah.
he wasn't just the heavyweight champion of the world. He was an executioner. Like,
Truly.
every fight was just a
I
matter
don't
of how
remember
long was it going to last.
which fight it was that I went to go see a couple of fights, and I actually went to go see Julio Cesar Chavez fight.
However, unlike some traditional boxers who dismiss spectacle boxing entirely, Anthony Joshua has taken a more measured approach. He stated that YouTube boxing has actually been good for the sport, bringing in a new audience and boosting overall viewership. Joshua recognizes that fighters like Jake Paul have introduced boxing to younger fans who might never have been interested before.
For the boxing scene.
I'm telling you, it's good for boxing because it's showing people you can fight someone that is well-known, credible, can fight, marketable, without a championship and have that same effect.
Yeah.
Early on in your career, and you can still get all the rewards anyway. So I think that they're showing guys, oh, hang on a minute, there's so much potential in boxing regardless of championships. And I think it's good because now people start taking more risks early on. These guys coming into the game are changing the landscape for the better, showcasing that if you have a business mind on, marketable, creative, content driven, obviously talented.
What do you think? Will AJ be completely unstoppable in this fight? Or could Jake pull off the ultimate upset? Share your thoughts in the comments below.